What's up guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video of my 4 favorite exercises. Today what I'm going to be going through is my 4 favorite exercises for toning up your triceps. So if you're a woman looking to tone up your triceps because you hate how soft and wobbly they feel right now, then this video is for you, so let's dive right into it. So the first exercise we're going to run through is just a standard tricep push down. Now the reason I want to run through this first is because it's what I see people doing most commonly in the gym, and I want to make sure that you avoid the mistakes that I see people making all the time. So this is going to be a great exercise for training your triceps in the mid-range of the movement, where you're going to be the most strongest, so we can get a good amount of weight behind it. Now what we're going to want to do for this exercise is, firstly, as we get into position, what you're going to want to do is slightly push your hips back into this hinge position. If you're stood up nice and tall, what you end up doing is running out of room because your legs get in the way. As soon as you go back into that hinged position, you can get more of a lockout through those triceps and get a wider range of movement. So that's the first most common problem that I see people doing, is just standing too tall. So another thing that we want to make sure is that the elbows are locked in nice and tight and the shoulders are pulled back. I see a lot of people in this position as they do their tricep push downs, which is just making this exercise suck basically, and not the best range of movement that we can get. So what we're going to want to do is suck those armpits in nice and tight, tense that upper back, keep your hips back slightly, and then from here we can get a great range of movement through the triceps, and we're going to be the most strongest in this position. Now, to get the most out of this exercise, what I want you to think about doing is contracting your triceps through the movement. I don't want you to think about just pushing up and down, because this isn't going to be able to get the most out of the triceps. If we're in this position, we really think about and concentrate on squeezing the triceps to do the movement, to move us, we're going to be able to get the most out of them. Nice and controlled on the way up, get a good squeeze with a pause at the bottom, and then just slowly resist the weight on the way up through the triceps, and then we'll be able to get the most out of them. Now the next exercise is going to be some katana tricep extensions. Most of these exercises are going to be on the cable machine, just because the cable machine is such a great exercise for hitting your triceps. All you're going to need is a cable machine and a couple pairs of cuffs. Okay, so once you manage to beat everyone off and make sure that you get both sides of the cable machine, what we want to make sure is that we've got cuffs on both sides, and we want to have the height roughly aligned with your hips. From here, what we're going to do is get ourselves into position facing in front of the cable machine, okay? So we've got the right hand in the right side, left hand in the left side. From here, what you're going to do is a fancy little spin to come above to your head position. And then from here, we're in the right position for the katana tricep extensions. Now, what I want you doing from here is staying back as close as you can to the cables. If we end up being too far forward during the exercise, we're missing the bottom part of the movement. Whereas when we come back here, we've got full tension at the bottom part, which is what we want on this exercise, because we're training the triceps in the lengthened range of movement. Now from here, what we're going to need to do is keep those elbows up. And again, think about contracting the triceps up to that top point of the movement, and then slowly stretching on the way back down. What I see too many people doing is letting the gravity do the work on the way down, and they just throw the weight up. What you're going to want to do again is nice and keep it controlled, squeezing up to the top, slowly resisting that weight on the way down, and then again squeezing up to that top position, keeping full tension in the triceps throughout the entire movement. When it comes to getting back down, all you're going to have to do is step forward, spin around, and then you're good to go. Okay, so far we've trained the triceps in the mid-range movement with that tricep push down, the lengthened range of movement with the tricep katana extension, and then now what we're going to do is train them in the shortened range of movement. So what we're going to need for this is a handle for the cable machine, and then we're going to want to set the cable machine up all the way to the top. Okay, so once you've got everything in position, what we're going to want to do is take hold of that handle, and then we're going to come into this position here, and I want you to place your elbow slightly behind your body. Now the reason being is, unless we put the elbow here in this position, we're unable to take your triceps in the fully shortened position. Remember, like I spoke about earlier, to be able to stretch your triceps, we need our elbow and shoulder elevated like so. To hit the mid-range, we're going to have the elbow by the side, and then for us to be able to take it in that fully shortened position, we need our arms slightly positioned behind the body, and then from there we can get a fully shortened and contracted tricep. So when it comes to setting up that position, make sure that elbow stays locked in nice and tight. Then from here, you're going to focus on contracting that tricep, driving back, getting a good squeeze, slowly releasing on the way up and forward. Now, a common problem I see people doing is allowing their arm to rock back and forward during this movement. But again, as soon as we take that elbow forward, we're taking the tension off of the triceps. So what we need to do is keep ourselves locked in this position from here, really focus on squeezing that tricep, slowly releasing on the way up while keeping that elbow back. And then from here, we can keep that tension on the tricep and get the most out of it during this exercise. Now, although the cable machine is amazing for hitting the triceps in many different positions, it can be a pain in the ass to get on. It could be one of the busiest bits of equipment in the gym. So what I wanted to do is throw in an exercise where, if that is the case, all you need to do is grab a bench and some dumbbells, and we can still get a good workout and tricep exercise in for you. So what we're gonna go into is some skull crushers. Don't fear the name. I've never actually had anyone crush their skull, so you're gonna be pretty good. What we wanna do from here though, is we're gonna take 2 dumbbells and we're gonna have the bench set up on a flat bench. And then we want our arms up into this position to begin. From here, what I want you to do is slightly take your arms back at an angle. The reason being is if I keep my arms straight in this position here, I could stay here all day. My triceps aren't being taxed because the weight is sat in my joints. As soon as I'm back in this position, my triceps are now contracting against gravity to stop my arms falling down to here, so I can get a better amount of tension on them. But yeah, so for this exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to be bending through the elbows, getting a nice big stretch either side of your head, and then driving up, squeezing the triceps into that top position. Again, just similar to the last exercise, a common problem that people make is they roll their shoulders back and forward during this exercise using momentum. What we want to make sure that we're doing in this exercise is we're keeping that tension in the triceps and ensuring that they're doing all the work rather than our shoulders coming into play during the exercise. The main thing here is just ensuring that we get a nice big stretch in those triceps and then we contract them up towards that top position, just like so. Another common fault that I see people doing is holding their shoulders up during the exercise. Now this is gonna make you less stable in the movement. As soon as we push our shoulders back into the bench, we can get a lot more stability through the shoulders and get more tension in those triceps again. So just be sure that you're keeping as much tension as you can in those triceps and keeping those shoulders fixed towards the bench. And there you have it. There are 4 of my favorite exercises for helping tone up and develop your triceps. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more just like this, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification, and I'll see you in the next video.